Hello and welcome to MRCPsych on the Go Revision Essentials. My name is Dr. Alapa Surlicker and I'm a psychiatry trainee in the west of Scotland. Like many of you, I spent a lot of time commuting. This was valuable time that I could have spent revising for the MRCPsych examination. And so, I've started this podcast to help you revise on the go. Each episode breaks down one high-yield topic mapped to the syllabus. This is then followed by 5 questions to help reinforce your learning. So, grab your headphones, turn travel time into revision time, and let's get started. Let's begin with a simple but important question. Why are people different? Why are some individuals outgoing and sociable, while others prefer quiet reflection? Why do some people remain calm in stressful situations, while others experience intense anxiety? Psychologists refer to these consistent patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaviour as personality. Personality refers to the relatively stable psychological characteristics that distinguish one individual from another. These patterns influence how we respond to situations, how we relate to other people, and how we interpret the world around us. The attempt to explain personality differences has a very long history. Some of the earliest theories date back more than 2,000 years. In ancient Greece, the physician Hippocrates, often known as the father of medicine, proposed that personality was influenced by bodily fluids known as the 4 humours. Yes, this is the same person you may recognise from the Hippocratic oath in medicine. These humours were blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. According to this theory, the balance of these fluids influenced both physical health and temperament. For example, an excess of black bile was believed to produce a melancholic personality, associated with sadness and introspection. An excess of blood was associated with a sanguine temperament, characterised by optimism and sociability. Although modern medicine no longer supports this theory, it represented one of the first attempts to explain stable personality differences between individuals. Interestingly, echoes of these ancient ideas still appear in everyday language. Terms such as melancholic or phlegmatic originally referred to these humour-based personality types. Remember, early theories such as Hippocrates' 4 humours attempted to explain consistent personality differences between individuals. Modern psychology studies personality using scientific methods. Over time, researchers realised that there were 2 very different ways of studying personality. These approaches are known as the nomothetic approach and the idiographic approach. Let's begin with the nomothetic approach. The nomothetic approach attempts to identify general laws that apply across many individuals. Researchers using this approach study large groups of people and use statistical methods to identify patterns in behaviour and personality. For example, if researchers measure personality traits in thousands of individuals, they may discover that certain characteristics tend to cluster together. These patterns can then be used to develop models of personality that apply to the general population. This approach has led to the development of personality dimensions such as extroversion, neuroticism, and conscientiousness. We will explore these personality trait theories in more detail in the next episodes. The word nomothetic comes from the Greek word nomos, meaning law. This reflects the goal of identifying general laws of human behaviour. Remember, the nomothetic approach studies personality by identifying general traits that apply across many individuals. The second approach to personality research is the idiographic approach. The word idiographic comes from the Greek word idios, meaning personal or unique. This reflects the goal of understanding the individual in depth. Rather than searching for universal laws, the idiographic approach focuses on understanding the unique characteristics of an individual person. This approach is commonly used in clinical psychology and psychiatry. When clinicians assess a patient, they are not only interested in general patterns of behaviour, they are also interested in the individual's personal history, values, coping strategies, and life experiences. Remember, the idiographic approach focuses on understanding the unique personality and experiences of an individual. In practice, personality psychology often combines both approaches. Nomothetic research helps psychologists identify general personality traits and patterns. Idiographic approaches help clinicians understand how these traits appear in a particular individual. You can think of it like this. Nomothetic research asks, what personality traits do most humans share? Idiographic research asks, what makes this particular person unique? Both perspectives are important for understanding personality. Why is what we learned today clinically important? Understanding personality is an important part of psychiatric assessment. Personality influences how individuals cope with stress, how they form relationships, and how they respond to treatment. Psychiatric research often uses nomothetic approaches to identify general patterns of behaviour. For example, research may show that high levels of stress are commonly associated with fatigue or low mood. In contrast, clinical assessment often requires an idiographic understanding of the individual patient. A clinician may explore how a particular patient experiences stress, how it affects their daily life, and what coping strategies they use. Most modern psychologists argue that these two approaches are complementary rather than mutually exclusive. The nomothetic approach helps us identify general trends, while the idiographic approach helps us understand how those trends appear in the life of a particular person. In simple terms, the nomothetic approach helps explain the what, while the idiographic approach helps explain the why and the how. Remember, clinical practice often combines nomothetic knowledge from research with idiographic understanding of the individual patient. Now, let's test your recall. I will read out 5 exam-style questions. After each one, I will pause for 10 seconds so you can attempt the answer before hearing the explanation. Question 1. Which approach to personality research aims to identify general laws that apply across many individuals? The answer is the nomothetic approach. Question 2. Which personality research approach focuses on understanding the unique characteristics and experiences of an individual? The answer is the idiographic approach. Question 3. Which ancient Greek physician proposed that personality was influenced by the balance of 4 bodily humours? The answer is Hippocrates. Question 4. Which personality research approach typically involves studying large groups of people and identifying statistical patterns? The answer is the nomothetic approach. Question 5. Which approach is commonly used in detailed clinical case studies that explore an individual's life history? The answer is the idiographic approach. Let's summarise what we have learned today. Personality refers to the relatively stable patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaviour that distinguish individuals. Early attempts to explain personality included theories such as Hippocrates' 4 humours. Modern personality psychology uses 2 main research approaches. The nomothetic approach, which identifies general personality traits across populations, and the idiographic approach, which focuses on the unique characteristics of individuals. Both approaches contribute to our understanding of personality and are important in psychological research and psychiatric practice. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of MRCPsych on the Go Revision Essentials. I hope this episode helped to move your revision forward. If you have any questions or just want to continue the discussion, you can find me on LinkedIn at MRCPsych on the Go, spelled MRCPysch on the Go. This podcast is about making revision accessible. If you found it useful, liking and sharing it with others helps the goal more than anything else. That's it for today. I'm Dr. Alapazurlikar, and as always, keep revising on the go.